Arizona State baseball has finished non-conference play with a record of 8-10, but the record is a direct result of what this Sun Devils team is, a below 500 ball club. The principal reason for the slow start is their pitching, specifically in the bullpen. Leading the way in the pen are two right-handed pitchers in redshirt junior Will Levine and redshirt sophomore Christian Bonlovich. Levine has been ASU's go-to reliever, leading the team with 15 and 2/3 innings pitched. Despite his 4.02 ERA, Levine has been a solid option due to his consistent performance on the bump. But unlike Levine, Bonlovich has struggled to find his rhythm. At times, Bonlovich has been a dominant option and provided the starters with strong relief. However, most of the time, this just isn't the case. The majority of his outings have consisted of letting up multiple
staff makes it enjoyable. I just think that life isn't that serious, and tomorrow's a new day. Yeah, we lost, but we'll get the next game tomorrow.
She pitched to a 2.03 ERA and has 3 hits and 12 at-bats on the campaign. The head coach says it isn't always that easy.
Just in general, they have to be able to separate, the offense and the defense. I think Marissa does a great job at that. It's being able to balance the two and separate the two. But I think she's done a great job, and we'll continue to kind of use her in that role.
However, Schold enjoys the battle of both hitting and pitching.
Honestly, it's tough, but I like it because if I'm struggling in one, I can try to pick myself up in the other one. But I think just finding something that can distinguish the two, just finding a way to keep my mentality on one at a time and not dwell on whatever is or isn't working.
Scold's presence has certainly made an impact on the team chemistry.
She's such an amazing teammate. She's just a competitor, even since when we played each other.
In Detroit, going after an NCAA title. For Cronkite Sports, I'm Haley Smilo.
That was Haley Smilo with a closer look at Kyle Parko. Now moving on to the gridiron. Herm Edwards and the Devils are back to work with spring practices starting up earlier this week. Between the NCAA investigation scandal, a question mark at quarterback, and some notable pieces returning, there is a lot to unpack. Here with us to do so is Ethan Tuttle.
That's right, Matt. Well, ASU football is just getting underway with spring practices, but leaders and playmakers are already being identified, guys, with a slew of former Sun Devils already out the door and headed for the NFL draft. ASU's battered coaching staff will have to work on developing the next batch of talent with its worst recruiting class in school history. With former starting quarterback Jane Daniels out of the mix, ASU shifts its focus towards finding a new quarterback. The two options getting the most attention right now are redshirt sophomores Trenton Bourget and Paul Tyson. Tyson's transfer out west comes after minimal playing time for the Alabama Crimson Tide, where his great-grandfather, Paul Bear Bryant, coached. Tyson was one of the top quarterback recruits out of high school in Trussville, Alabama, but after 2 spring practices, ASU has been leaning towards Bourget, rolling him out on the first team of both practices so far this spring. Bourget was the backup behind Daniels last year and gained experience on the bench. With all that said, both quarterbacks have very little playing experience, but offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach Glenn Thomas will have some time to move some pieces around and figure out where ASU will be going moving forward.
Ethan, it seems like there's some potential at the quarterback position now that Jaden Daniels has since moved on. But defensively, there's some holes in the depth chart with some guys moving on, either graduating or the NFL draft. So who are some guys that are going to be able to fill those holes?
Yeah, defensively, ASU brings back linebackers Merlin Robertson and Kyle Soley. Both these guys combined for 73 solo tackles last season and come back once again for ASU. Plus, having 2 older guys who have gotten some of those snaps already in the middle of the defense should provide some calm on the field. Another guy to keep an eye out for, probably redshirt sophomore defensive back Jordan Clark, who's coming off a quiet season, took a bit of a bigger role last year, and Clark's going to have that similar build to Jack Jones. He stands 5'10", 185 pounds, so very advantageous build for that defensive back. And with the departure of Chase Lucas and Jack Jones, ASU interim assistant and defensive backs coach Donnie Henderson will have plenty to work through with this new team heading into this coming fall.
Thanks so much again, Ethan. That's Ethan with the football report. Well, it's that time of year again. The madness is back in March, and this March, the Pac-12 is leading the way with teams like Arizona and UCLA making runs in many brackets because of recent success in the month of March. Here to speak on that is Scott Sanduli.
Thanks, Matt. With the calendar turning to March, it's now become the best time of the year for bracketologists as the 2022 NCAA men's basketball tournament is officially underway. And after a year in which the Pac-12 saw more success among the field of 68 than any other conference, expectations are high on the 3-member schools representing the Conference of Champions in this year's Big Dance. Arizona, after storming through the season with a 31-3 record en route to a Pac-12 regular season and tournament title, has earned the #1 seed in the South region and will look to turn away 16-seeded Wright State on Friday at 4:30 MST. Last year's Cinderella and UCLA, who landed on the 4 line in the East, has already handled their first-round matchup in 13-seeded Akron by a score of 57-53. Johnny Juzang and company will look to rekindle their old magic and get back to the Sweet 16 on Saturday at the expense of St. Mary's. Outdone by their conference rivals was USC, who came in on the 7th spot in the Midwest. After 3rd overall pick Evan Mobley led the Trojans to the Elite Eight a year ago, his brother Isaiah tried to take the reins through a tough matchup with Miami earlier today, but to no avail as the Hurricanes pulled off the upset. While these programs are focused on their own national championship endeavors, the other 9 schools of the conference who didn't qualify for the NCAA tournament will be watching their competition with close eyes this month, as there may still be some benefit for them in store. Each game a conference member wins in March Madness guarantees a purse of about $1.6 million to the victorious school, which is evenly distributed amongst the conference's programs due to their revenue-sharing agreements. Should Arizona and UCLA make some noise these next few weeks, they could be raking in upwards of 8 figures to aid the conference in enhanced recruiting, team facility upgrades, and more. For WCSN, I've been Scott Sanduli.
Thank you, Scott, for the March Madness update. From one tournament to another, Sun Devil Gymnastics have had a historical season at Desert Financial Arena. WCSN gymnastics reporter Tia Reed joins us to tell us how they've done that and to look ahead.
After one of its best seasons in program history that came with its first ever share of the Pac-12 regular season title, ASU Gymnastics is ready to make its push for nationals starting Saturday at the Pac-12 Championships. Coming into the meet, the Sun Devils carry a 6-4 record, scoring at least 197 on 3 occasions. Junior Hannah Sharp has been the star all season, ranking 12th nationally in the all-around. ASU's other all-around competitor, sophomore Emily White, has been a solid #2, putting up 6 9.9-plus scores and achieving a team-high all-around score of 39.6. Other constants have been freshman Alex Theodoro, who ranks in the top 25 on vault, and sophomore Sarah Clark, who has yet to score below 9.85 on bars this year. Her success on bars hasn't translated to beam and floor, but improvements on those events could give the Sun Devils a big boost. Another athlete to watch for is sophomore Anaya Smith. After competing for the first time in the 22 season last week, the 2021 Vault First Team All Pac-12 selection looks to push her team to the win. As the #4 seed in the meet, the Gym Devils will compete in the night session while they'll face off against fellow regular season co-champions Utah, Cal, and Oregon State. Back to you guys at the desk.
The Gym Devils have impressed all season long. Another team that's been just as impressive of late is ASU lacrosse. Coming off the likes of a 3-game win streak, Anthony Remedios shows us the road ahead.
The Arizona State Sun Devils begin a 3-game road trip this afternoon, coming off a 3-game winning streak against San Diego State, Oregon, and Colorado, and holding all 3 of those teams to single digits. The Sun Devils are led by graduate attacker Emily Glogalev with 11 goals and 9 assists in the first 5 games. Freshman goalie Katie Volley has been a key asset for ASU thus far, earning 42 saves over the team's 5 games. She has already been named Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Week twice in her young career, the 15th weekly conference honor, and head coach Tim McCormack's 3 seasons as head coach. Last weekend, ASU defeated a top 25 team for only the 2nd time in program history, defeating number 23 Colorado 20-6. Arizona State is now 3-2 on the season and 2-0 in conference play, the best Pac-12 start in program history. This weekend, the Sun Devils head to the Bay Area, where they are taking on the defending Pac-12 champion Stanford Cardinal this afternoon and the California Golden Bears on Sunday. For WCSN, this was Anthony Remedios.
Great work there from Anthony Remedios. Now, ASU track and field rounded out its season, sending a handful of Sun Devils to the NCAA championships. With more, here's Henry Dominique.
To end the season, the Sun Devils sent only 3 athletes to the NCAA Indoor Championships in Birmingham last weekend. However, they came away with 3 podiums and 2 titles. Leading the team was Turner Washington and Urinden Van Klinken, who cemented ASU's reputation as one of the premier universities for throws by winning both shot put titles. Last weekend, Washington defended his title, and Van Klinken improved on her third-place performance from last year. This is only the fourth time in NCAA Division I history that a pair of athletes from the same school won the indoor shot put title in the same year. These championships mark the 25th title that legendary throws coach Brian Bluetrike has won in his career. To round out the squad, Jamar Marshall Jr. in the 60-meter hurdles added to his trophy cabinet by finishing third after not finishing last year at the championships.
The Sun Devils will now start the outdoor season this Friday and Saturday at Sun Angel Stadium with the Baldy Castillo Invitational, the first of 4 home meets this season. For Cronkite Sports, I'm Henry Dominy.
Thank you, Henry. It's certainly been a successful season for the group so far. Whether it be track and field or any other collegiate sport, sport information directors play a huge role in what the team does. Around a month ago, ASU SID Doug Tamaro was given an award as the best in the business. Our Nick Bourget details what Tamaro does that's so special.
Behind every collegiate athletic program is a network of sports information directors that make media coverage possible within the school. At Arizona State University, veteran SID Doug Tamaro leads the charge on men's basketball and men's golf.
The press conferences, the stats, all that kind of stuff is generated from us. If you're at a game and you see someone walking around with a credential, we're the people that gave them the credential. So there's an unbelievable list of things that we do. Day to day, there is no normal day-to-day routine.
Many would say that Tamaro is not your standard SID. On February 24th, Tamaro was recognized as the top SID at the NCAA Division I level by the Collegiate Sports Information Directors of America. This award is given annually to a member of a program who has made outstanding contributions to the field of sports information. However, Tamaro feels that this feat is not something he accomplished by himself.
Well, you know, it's an award, it's an achievement award that's given to someone that has been an assistant for a long time. And, you know, I'm the media relations director of our office, but the guy that's been ahead of me that's been doing it and oversees a lot of other things is Mark Brand. And he's a Hall of Famer as well. He's going in the Hall of Fame this year, so it's kind of awesome because I don't think I would have as much success without Mark. Mark is just a great person.
A day in the life can be wild for Tamaro. Equipped with a cell phone that never ceases to buzz, the longtime SID is often on the move at events, handing out media credentials, providing stats, and tending to several other responsibilities.
You know, when the game ends, we're kind of just getting going. I have at least a good 2 hours in front of me between post-game interviews and the recap, which maybe is done by a student, and editing that and posting that and updating the stats. And you know, a Thursday to Saturday turnaround in the Pac-12, you know, I'm up till midnight, 1 a.m.
Throughout his time of almost 30 years at ASU, Tamaro has witnessed some amazing things. Jake Plummer's Heisman run, James Harden without a beard, but most importantly, the story of Pat Tillman.
Probably one of the saddest days, definitely one of the saddest days and toughest days since I've been at Arizona State, and hopefully will never get sadder than this, was, you know, the day Pat Tillman passed away. And Pat and I were very close. But then to see the growth of the Pat's Run and the Pat Tillman Foundation and just the incredible amount of support that the Sun Devil community has given that foundation, and just the unbelievable amount of support that the campus has given Pat Tillman Foundation and Pat's Run, something great came out of something awful.
Tamaro has loved every second of being an SID at ASU. His job has even positively impacted his own family, and he credits the university for inspiring his daughters to play softball.
They were watching games, they were going to games. Pac-12 Network came aboard when they were young. Now my daughter is a freshman on a Division II school in Cleveland, and she's earned a scholarship. You talk about Title IX and opportunities in women's sports. My kids are an example of that. They've taken full advantage of the opportunity for women's sports, and to be honest with you, I'm not sure without Arizona State that happens.
Reporting from Desert Financial Arena, I'm Nick Bourget, Cronkite Sports.
From everyone here at WCSN, we say thank you so much, Mr. Doug Tamaro. Let's roll into the top place. This was the final game ever at Oceanside Ice Arena for ASU hockey. Look at that feed. Number 70 of the career for the legend Johnny Walker. The Sun Devils brought the curtain down beautifully at Oceanside.
And at number 3, we bring in Tyler Bender with esports.
In last week's playoff match against Cal, ASU's Fire Theft found an incredible 1v4 outplay under his turret.
There are 4 members
here on the top side of the map for Berkeley, and Fire Theft, you might be caught out, my friend. Here comes the Hex Slash over the wall. And here comes popping him back to his turret, though. Fire Theft is just going to get stunned up. All the CC, the flash away. He's living for just a little bit. He gets on Ivy. It's a cutie. It's a cutie. Fire Theft with the outplay under the turret. And here comes the laser. Pseudo finds one kill. Fearance and Zeshu are running in here. The ult comes out. Fearance with a beautiful pillar. He stops two. Zeshu in on the side.
Zeshu's
They're
here.
going to go for Rex required first. The Solar Flare is going to stun up one, but Rex required jumps into Zeshu, and Zeshu picks up a kill. ASU completely turned that fight around. ASU will go into sweep count this series 3-0 to qualify for CELO Nationals for the second year in a row, and a chance to defend their West Conference title against UC Irvine on Saturday.
I don't know about you guys, but that got me really fired up. This will do that as well. We take you out to tennis. It's a doubles match between Baylor and ASU. It is Fabian, Saleh, and McKinnon for ASU. Watch this backhand play by Saleh. Oh my. No one was expecting that. The Sun Devils would fall, though, to Baylor 4-3, but a great job there on the backhand and quick reactions to make that play.
And at number 1, we go over to Farrington Stadium. There was a fire and opposing teams failed to put it out. Yanni Acuna with 5 home runs in the Sun Devil Classic. She went yard 4 of the 5 games. She rounds the bases after her 8th home run of the season. ASU now 19-5 on the season. They play Oregon State tonight at 6 on the ASU live stream, so make sure to check that one out.
Well, just like Sun Devil Hockey closed out a chapter of the team's program at Oceanside, we're going to close out a chapter here of Cronkite Sports Live here this afternoon in Phoenix. Again, for everyone in the studio that made this happen, the content creators that went out and got it for you, and for us here at the desk, this has been Ethan Ryder. I'm Matt Venezia, and we will see you next week on Cronkite Sports Live.